So adobo has to be the quintessential Filipino dish. Actually, adobo is more of a cooking technique than it is a dish. That's why a lot of people, say my adobo is better than your adobo. They fry it, more sauce, take out the sauce. It's very different. Adobo really means braising or cooking in vinegar. And back in the day when nobody had refrigeration, the vinegar would help preserve the food. So you would cook a pot of adobo, you could leave it out, and it wouldn't spoil that quickly. That's why, suspiciously, your adobo, if you forget to put it in the ref, it's still okay the next day. Because that vinegar is this curing agent that preserves it. Adobo comes from the Spanish word adobar, okay, which means to grill or marinate. So this term actually came from the Spaniards because they didn't know what else to call it. They thought it was similar to one of their dishes. We don't know, unfortunately, anymore what adobo is called in Old Tagalog or Old Filipino. So I've got a pan here. It's a deep cooking pan, okay, and it's heating up on very high heat because we want to fry up our chicken, okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slightly marinate this chicken here with some salt, just a little bit, some pepper, okay, and we're gonna get a few spoonfuls of our soy sauce, just a little, and our vinegar. Okay, and we're gonna massage that into the chicken. Okay, you can keep this marinating for maybe 10-15 minutes. You can add some crushed garlic if you want. Okay, garlic here, just to have that really nice garlic flavor. So let that sit in the refrigerator for about 10 to 15 minutes and then we're going to fry it up. So in this pan, we're going to have some really hot oil. Okay, heat it up. We want this to be really, really crispy. Alright? And once your oil is hot, we're going to fry our chicken. You don't want to crowd the pan because it's going to bring down the temperature of the oil. So you want to just keep a few first, fry it up, pull it out, then fry another. Then you can actually put them all together to cook food. Okay, so I'm one of those people, I can't eat adobo without rice. So today we're going to make a fried rice to accompany it. But the big twist is we're going to use tarragon. So tarragon is a very European flavor. Actually, they have it also in China. And it originated from China, but in cuisine, it's usually in French cuisine where you find it the most. Tarragon, or l'estragon in French, actually comes from the root word dragon, because the root system of this plant was so volatile all over the place that it came from there. And it was said that back in the day it could cure snake bites, and had a lot of medicinal purposes. So tarragon has a really nice, it's like minty and vanilla for me. It's a mix of vanilla and mint, and I think it would really brighten up our dish. Again, my biggest complaint with Filipino food is that we don't put enough green in it. Everything just looks really brown or sloppy together. Even if it tastes really good, I think you eat with your eyes, and it's always nice to have that brightness of fresh herbs. And I really want to put a lot so that in the rice you can really taste the tarragon. It's not just for color, but also for its flavor. I'm just going to bunch this up and really give it just a rough chop first. Now once everything gets chopped, you can just really go at it. You want it quite fine so each piece of rice can have a little bit of tarragon. I also suggest that you use organic herbs, or try to buy organic herbs or grow your own herbs, because when you wash herbs too much, they can get waterlogged or bruised, and if you don't dry them well, you'll have a watered down taste. And really, the most important thing that you wash are the pesticides, which are bad for you. A little bit of dirt wouldn't kill anyone, but organic herbs, especially because they're not cooked, these, they're quite safe. Let's get back to our chicken, see how we're doing. For those of you who don't know it yet, when you're cooking chicken and you don't really know how cooked it is, because chicken can be tricky, you don't want to eat raw chicken. It's actually very bad and very dangerous. Depending on the size or the thickness of your chicken, the cooking time will vary. And the easiest way to check if it's done is to get a small knife and to poke it in the thickest portion. Leave it for a few seconds and then pull it out. If it's hot, then you know it's cooked. If it's lukewarm, it means it still needs a little bit more cooking. And of course, if it's cold, then it's still raw inside. So you want to try and do that. And pick maybe the thickest portion and just stick it in and see. So this is ready. We're going to pull them out. Okay, now we're going to start making the sauce. Okay, the base of the sauce is called a roux, and that's what we're going to use to thicken it. It's basically a paste made with flour and butter so we can thicken the sauce. Right now we're going to take all the juices that are here. We're going to deglaze it with our balsamic vinegar and our soy sauce. And I just do equal parts. Okay, I think equal parts are the balanced way. Sometimes I like it a little bit more sour. We're going to add some of that bay leaf and some peppercorn. We're actually going to add some water to this, okay? Just some water. And we want this to bring up to a boil and then reduce a little bit. Turn up the heat, bring it to a boil, and we want this to reduce. I'm going to add some of that extra chicken marinade that we had from earlier. Let's not waste. So we're going to add some orange peels to this. And of course some orange juice. Just drop those orange peels in there. And squeeze some orange juice. Preferably fresh. It has a much nicer flavor. It's really up to you how sweet or how orangey you want it. I think it's nice to just have a hint. You don't want it to be overpowering. It's still an adobo. You want it to taste like an adobo. So now that this has been reducing a bit, you don't want it to reduce because we're going to thicken it with a roux. Okay, we're going to remove this from the heat. Set it aside. Okay. What we want to do is heat up equal amounts of butter and flour. So not too much. This is a very small quantity. I'm going to get about half a tablespoon of butter. Similar amount of flour. We're going to whisk this. Let it melt. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to ladle our sauce and whisk at the same time. And this is really like gravy for dummies. Super easy, not too complicated. So you want the sauce to get thick, almost like a chocolate texture, like melted chocolate. It smells really good. Adobo really has a distinct smell. The joke in San Francisco was, you know where Daly City was, where all the Pinoys were, because the cloud, adobo smelling cloud, was hanging over Daly City. Okay, we're gonna take some of that oil that we drained for the rice. We're gonna fry the rice in this. Why? Because this has all the flavor. I'm actually gonna try to even fish out those little bits that were burnt earlier of the chicken, just to add more flavor to our rice. Smells really good. And you don't want your garlic to be too burnt as well. So really just wait for that light golden brown, light golden even, very little. So I'm just making sure that all the pieces of rice really get coated with all that flavor. Because one of my pet peeves with garlic rice or with sinangag rice is when you do it at home and you're tamad to make everything really hallowed and you got chunks of rice that aren't mixed up with all the sauce and flavor and oil and garlic. So I'm going to add a bit of pepper as well. And our chopped tarragon. Just a little bit of green can go a long way. I mean, really, doesn't that look 10 times better than regular garlic fried rice? Just because of that green. You don't want to see bland food. You don't want to see all the same colors. And they say a healthy diet is a colorful diet. You see plenty of colors on your plate. It means you're eating well. Drizzle a dark adobo sauce all over the chicken. Doesn't that look really good? That looks super good. Really, really, really thick, rich sauce. Always nice to add a few fresh herbs. Isn't that such an upgrade from your floppy adobo? Alright, now it's my turn to try and dig into this. It's so good. I love that sauce. Just take a piece. It's really nice because the chicken has a crispy skin and then the sauce is a little bit creamy but still sour. And the garlic rice, it's really good. And I think you guys will enjoy it at home, especially for your lolas, your expat friends, your international friends who don't really know Filipino food. This is a great introduction because it looks really good and really appetizing. So, I can't say anything more. Kain na tayo. Kain na!